to Breakroom! I'm Brandon Barrick, and today we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. But I'm not the only mutant down here in the sewer. No! Next to me, we got Gina Ippolito!
I'm causing mayhem down here!
Down the table, we got Evan Yee!
I'm causing mutants down here!
Oh, it's a big setup for our man at the end, Jordan Morris!
I'm causing Mutant Mayhem down here! I said both words!
Folks, that wasn't written in the prompter. That was some traditional improv.
Off the dome.
Yeah.
Highlight
Just like
of
our
this
boy
movie.
Michelangelo in this movie.
That's right.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you know, as someone who notices how media loves to crap on improv, it's the butt of every joke. This movie, I think, celebrated improv in a nice way.
Okay.
It was still a joke, but I think it was a kind, gentle joke.
It came from a place of love.
Yeah, love
Okay.
and appreciation.
Okay.
It's a good art form, folks.
It's just a shame that Michelangelo is going to do improv in high school
Yes.
and then waste so much of his 20s. He's just
Oh,
going to
yeah.
waste so much of his 20s.
It's going to set him on a bad path.
doing
Yeah.
shows for 5 people.
Yeah.
But at some point he'll be hired on a show with a guy he took a level 1 class with
Right.
who vaguely remembers him that he has badgered enough to be like, fine, I'll hire you on new Rockstars.
Perfect. What a great journey for that young turtle's life. We're so excited to talk about this movie today. We've all seen it, we've all loved it, we've all enjoyed it. Gina and Jordan have been writing for the new Rockstars channels for the last few months. We're so happy to have them on the channel today. Evan's usually running the computer, but he just had to talk about this movie.
I really had to.
It changed his life.
Yeah.
It changed his life.
He's usually our tech guy. He's usually our
Donatello?
Donatello.
We're definitely going to spoil this movie, folks. So stick around and stay as long as you love being spoiled and you won't get angry with us. We're totally fine with that. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to be spoiled, save this video for another time and come back to it after you saw the movie. We recommend it. It's great. We're going to give our reviews. We're going to give our scores for it. And we're going to have a good time. But before we do that, we should talk about which turtle we are. Okay? I think this is the thing when you go see this movie with your friends, you're probably like, hey, I'm a Leo, I'm a Raphael, right? And we were saying, like, there's 2 turtles inside of each person, right?
Yeah.
The turtle you identify with as a child, and the turtle you identify with as an adult. And sometimes they're the same turtle, but sometimes they're not.
Right. You could be a Leo Moon with a Raph rifle.
Yes, yeah, right? It depends.
I didn't think anything could ruin Ninja Turtles for me, but Jordan just did it.
Astrology got it.
Right. We're talking about all the cool topics on the show today. Astrology, improv.
Jimmy Buffett.
Essential oils.
Welcome back to your dad's Talk About Shit.
Oh,
We
boy.
talked about 60 minutes a few minutes
Oh,
ago.
no. I'll tell you personally, as a young man, I of course was born in 2002. Everyone knows that. But for some reason, I really identify with the 1987 animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, great.
That one is my turtles. As a young man, I saw myself as a Michelangelo, a party dude.
Okay.
Want to have fun, love the nunchucks. But as an adult, I gotta say, I really identify with Raphael. His frustration, his anger,
Right.
his annoyance at how no one's willing to get stuff done.
But he's also cool. He's cool
He's
and
cool.
he's
He's
real.
cool.
Yeah.
And I know that from working with you. I didn't refill the coffee maker and you kicked me in the stomach.
That's right. You gotta refill the coffee maker. Gina, how do your turtle signs align?
Yeah, when I used to play the NES game, which was incredibly hard, especially that water level, but the level right after it is impossible.
All water level. All
water
water levels
levels.
in the NES era are terrible.
That electric seaweed just kept getting me.
Yeah.
I used to play as Leonardo because he had the most versatile weapon.
It's a good weapon. Two katanas.
Yeah, but I think I'm like
Don had the reach. Don had the reach.
no, wait, there was a delay. It was him,
Right.
and then they're already on you. It's not a good weapon. But yeah, I think also Michelangelo. I'm a party dude.
You said that so convincingly.
Yeah.
Like, this checks out.
I enjoy being a party dude. But I think if
Would
you
anyone like a brewski? I could open y'all a brewski.
I brought some Tostitos scoops.
The
I think
official
if you
chef.
Yeah,
asked-
this was just a party.
If you asked anyone who's ever worked with me, ever been on a sketch team with me, they would say I'm a Leonardo.
A leader, a born leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Sits under a tree and just thinks about life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he does.
with a big bag of Tostitos scoops.
Tostitos, are you watching? Can we get some scoops already? Evan, who are your turtles?
I think growing up, I grew up with like the 4Kids generation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so the one that was like animated a little bit more like anime style.
Sure.
Oh, the crappy computer generated ones?
Not like the 3D one.
Okay,
It's still
okay.
2D, yeah.
Okay, good.
But I think growing up, I was definitely feeling like, oh yeah, I'm Leo, big like main character syndrome,
Sure.
big like anime protagonist syndrome. And now I think, I was watching the movie last night, and I'm like, you know what? I could be Donatello.
Yeah,
I got
all right,
glasses.
all right.
Stop.
I like that.
Just the
I like
glasses.
that.
All right.
What about you, Jordan?
So like you, I was absolutely in the pocket for those 1987 cartoons, those the movies starring Corey Feldman
Oh, yeah.
others.
And others.
And others. So those were my turtles. And so I think when I played Turtles with my friends, I was always Raph, but I think I just liked the weapons. There was so I just liked knives.
Yeah. They're cool looking, but not effective.
They're good defensive and offensive.
You can spin them. That's pretty cool.
You can spin, yeah. You can spin all these weapons, I guess.
You can throw them, you grab them.
lot you can do with size. Listen, nobody's saying size aren't good weapons. They're good weapons. But yeah, so I think I think I had a period in my life where I was a Michelangelo, drunk all the time.
Doing improv in your 20s.
Yeah, I know, yes. But I do think now I am a little more of a Leonardo. I think when I like make plans, I'm the organizer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the spreadsheet guy.
Okay.
You're
a narc.
Yeah. I'm a huge narc.
Yeah.
And I've been going through your desk drawer.
Oh,
and
no.
I don't like what I found.
Oh no. Well, we're gonna.
It's heroin, I found.
Can I have that?
Dude's
heroin
on
back,
H.
please?
It was very expensive.
Please, I need it. We're gonna be reviewing this.
You can have it back when you prove that you're responsible enough to record a great
I'm gonna
jazz
sit here
album.
and watch you do this whole bag of heroin.
Oh no. Well, after I do my heroin, we're gonna be reviewing this movie by giving it a score of 1 to 5 in 5 different categories, and at the end we'll arrive at a single number. The categories we're gonna go through are the script, which includes the story and the writing, of course, the visuals, the acting, the directing, the sound / music and score. Okay, I really bailed
out.
it. And we'll add all those numbers up. We'll compare them to other movies, or maybe we won't, because Evan didn't tally the numbers. I don't know. And before we get into our review, of course, we want to remind you about the strike that's going on. SAG-AFTRA, they kind of let us know that entertainment journalists like us are allowed to cover movies and entertainment news during the strike. We're not promoting the movie, we're just reviewing it. We of course support SAG and the WGA and their strikes. We hope these artists get what they deserve, which is fair compensation for the work that they do. And our goal in this coverage is to celebrate the artistry and really show how AI could not make this movie. AI can't do this work. It needs the human touch. And for now, we're not doing any future agreements with the studios to promote their releases the way other influencers do. We're not going to do any of that until the strike is resolved or we get further guidance. So we feel that we're doing the right thing here and we're well within the type of news coverage that we do here at the channel. But of course, we support the strikes.
Once that strike is over, though, I'm getting my hands on all the free merch.
Yeah. We'll be back in the studio's pocket as soon as these strikes. Please. Okay, let's jump into our first category, folks. Let's talk about the script of this movie, the story and the writing. There were several writers credited for this movie, I believe. That they're in the script. There we go. The screenplay was written by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, Jeff Rowe, who also directed the movie, Dan Hernandez, and Benji Sammet. And, not to spoil my score or anything, but I think they did a great job. What a fun movie. I mean, of course, there's been several iterations of the Ninja Turtles over the years. From their original conception in the comics to the animated show to the live action movies to more animated shows to some animated movies that never went to theaters to a live action / computer generated Michael Bay mishmash.
The rock and roll stage show.
The rock and roll stage show.
I saw them on a cereal box the other day.
Sure. These guys are everywhere.
But, you know, I think this
Coming
was
out of their shells is the name of the rock and roll stage show.
Oh, that is. Yeah, if you haven't, you can watch most of it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a treat.
Their
I think
live
Leo
stage
plays
show.
the guitar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Pretty-
that was
and I
good
think they
time.
made an appearance on like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh,
when they were
because her
promoting
name
them.
is the same as one of the turtles.
Yes, that's why. They only appear on shows when the names match the turtles.
So they appeared on the one show.
Give me your thoughts about the writing and the story here. Do you think they did a good job? Did they, somewhat of an origin story? Certainly made clear this movie, this was the Turtles' first time fighting criminals.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought they did a really great job. Sometimes with these movies, you run the risk of like too much nostalgia, too little nostalgia, and this was like just enough. Like it was like sprinkled in there, like delicious little chocolate chips, but not an overwhelming amount of chocolatey flavor. It's just enough turtles with chocolate chips in them.
And not so much nostalgia, but like very modern day, like in our world.
Yeah.
They watch Marvel movies. They see Adele perform. They know who Drake is.
They gave him they gave Splinter a whole new story, and I was here for it.
Yeah.
They kind of streamline how the mutagen works. In
Not
our
to say
series,
ooze.
yes,
Yeah.
they call it ooze. We know it as mutagen.
Yeah, it is a mutagen.
They kind of streamline how it works. I think in our cartoon, the one from the 80s, Splinter was a person who got merged with a rat. I think that was kind of Baxter Stockman's thing too, with the fly.
And in the movie, he was a rat who was kept in a cage at a ninja.
Oh right,
Yeah.
and he did
he's
karate
like,
while watching.
And if you go and I just rewatched it. The scene where there's a little tiny rat puppet pretending to do karate. It's a delight. Go and find it.
So anyways, they kind of streamline how it works. It's just like an animal turns into a person animal when they get the ooze on them.
Okay.
I kind of appreciated that. It's really funny. Most of the jokes work. There's some familiar story beats. There's the New Yorkers rally around them to help them. It's like, this is kind of the Raimi Spider-Man.
It's a constant problem in New York City. It's like they hate their heroes.
Yeah. And now we like them
until they meet them face to face and they respect their heroes.
I mean, as someone who's from New Jersey, this is how New Yorkers are. Like they cannot be bothered. But if there is a giant
pelted Daredevil with garbage.
Get out of here! What do you do when you're walking across the street?
Get this freak out of here!
Learn to see. Learn to see.
But listen, if the Statue of Liberty is filled with dancing goo and there's a sentient painting with clearly a ghost in it that wants to kidnap babies, New York is going to have your back.
Yeah, the devil you know versus the devil you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder a little bit. They do go to great lengths to make them sound like kind of modern teenagers. I think it works.
I thought it worked.
I wonder if there's these moments where they're like sus vibe. There's a BTS joke. I wonder if that would be sweaty to a modern Gen Z kid.
Listen, as a youthful 87-year-old woman, I thought that all the slang was very hip.
I wonder if you took a kid
if they find it disingenuous. I mean, the director has said, they would let the kids recorded together.
Yeah.
Which not always happens in animated movies, right? A lot of times people are siloed and they're just they're hearing someone else talk that was already recorded and maybe responding to it, or they're just recording their lines talking to someone off mic.
Yeah, Gina, when you recorded the voices for Steamboat Willie, how did you record?
Well, I remember.
You were Pete, right?
Put me in a little room.
Everybody's favorite Disney character, Pete. Pete the mean cat.
But they were together, and like the director would let them kind of just talk.
Yeah.
Like, from my understanding, the bacon, egg, and cheese bit was just
I
them
love that.
messing
That
around.
was so funny.
Yeah, Yurt was that messing around?
Yeah.
Yurt?
Yeah, I need the bacon, egg, and cheese. Very honest. So I mean, I'm not a Gen Z child myself, but like I'm sure it might feel disingenuous, but it's probably better also hearing it from like young actors rather than on a Billy West play.
Corey Feldman now.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman now is like, hey, put me in as Michelangelo again, and they're like, Mr. Feldman, stop showing up at the set every day.
Yeah. I feel like when I saw like Sonic the Hedgehog, I think I saw both movies in theaters, and there were a ton of jokes from like, okay, these are clearly just like references for kids, but around the theater I could hear kids like really laughing and really enjoying it. And the screening I went to yesterday was kind of a bigger theater, and I couldn't really hear people around me, which is great for movie watching. But it wasn't, I couldn't tell if like any of those jokes were resonating, but I was like, okay, I can see like kids, I just on a hunch, I think that like, oh, they're really responding to that.
The BTS joke got a big pop in our theater.
It did. Yeah, a lot of stuff got big laughs, and there were a lot of kids in our theater.
The Superfly saying instead of horse races, we're going to have big booty boy races. Like, that's great. Also, Superfly shouting, "Go to hell, turtles," or "See you in hell, turtles." That's heavy for a PG movie.
The girl next to me who was sitting next to me, she must have been maybe like in college or something. She even was like, "What?" Like,
my ears!
He said H-E double hockey sticks.
Yeah, it was audible reaction.
I mean,
you're at a Mormon theater, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Making Splinter a character who's like so off-put by human society by the way he was treated both as a rat and an anthropomorphic rat, but also learning that like, oh, I have to be willing to trust, and like not everybody is like this, and there's are different people out there. I liked the moments of honesty in this movie where like the turtles first meet April, and they're like, "Are you saying that there's other people out there like you who when they see us they won't be scared?" And she's like, "No, people are gonna be very afraid of you. This is gonna be tough, but we can do it." And like Superfly, you know, Superfly's motivations are also earnest because like he saw his father get murdered. And he's like, these people did this with no warning.
It made sense. I really like the fact that in previous iterations, it's always just the turtles who have an arc.
Right.
Like in the live action movie, like Leonardo's like, oh God, like it's too heavy, like this crown of leadership and things like that. And you know, like Michelangelo is like screaming things for no reason and things like that. But this was like the first movie that I saw that gave Splinter an arc, that gave April an arc, and gave the villain an arc. So it wasn't just like, oh, here are the turtles. They really want to go to school. That's really touching. Like Splinter is very much a dad who's like, I need to protect you. Like the world is a terrible, terrible place. Yeah. And by the end, he's like, I'm going to have sex with this bug thing. You boys do what you want.
Spoiler.
And you see it too.
I
see everything.
Surprisingly, the girl sitting next to Evan didn't mind that.
Do you think it's implied that Splinter's, you know, love for Scumbug kind of echoes like his best friend was a cockroach?
Didn't he say he ate him?
I didn't catch that.
Well, he ate him after he died.
Yo, it's
he's a rat. He's a rat.
If you think about it a lot, it gets weird.
Okay, well,
so would he eat his wife if she died?
I think she'll give him permission. I've given my cats permission to eat me if I die.
It was in my wedding vows to my wife. Like, if I die first, please consume me.
Please, yes. Use my strength.
Wait, but Gina, on your note about like all the other characters having like pretty solid arcs, which I do agree with. Do you guys feel like if you hadn't known the Turtles prior to this franchise, that they were distinct enough and that you spent enough time with each of them to really understand like what they like, who they were, you know, as like solo characters, individual from each other, as opposed to just the group?
That's a good question.
That's really tough. Yeah. I mean, maybe not enough turtle time. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I thought, like as is usually the case with the other properties, Leo has the most distinct personality, but like wasn't bored. Like in some other versions, like he's a little bit on the boring side, and this one is like, you know, like he's just nervous about things and giving, like, he has a crush on April, which is interesting. I think, like, you know, the fact that like they took the one defining thing about each of them, like they were like, what if like this one has rage issues and this one like just really wants to do improv, and this one's like really into anime and bands. So like I think they gave them enough for a first part, like a first movie. But yeah, I think if there's a sequel, they should definitely give them a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah,
but I'll sacrifice that for more Splinter.
Yeah. I feel like because growing up with my specific version of the Turtle cartoon, like in the mid 2000s, I feel like I really got to know Michelangelo and Leonardo very well, and Donatello and Raphael were like kind of on the sidelines. Whereas in this one, I was like, I get Leo and I get Donatello mostly, but I feel like Raph and Michelangelo were a little bit. They was like, he's angry and he likes improv, but we don't see it. And for me, at least, I didn't see it consistently through the movie as it being a desire and or a problem, depending on which way you want to go on that.
I think though, and this is, not to be like a Ninja Turtles apologist or anything, but this to me reminded me of teenagers. They're not when you hang out with teenagers as I do.
Why are you hanging out with teenagers?
When you're down at the mall or getting a mall.
When you're getting some froyo, when you're getting an old orange Julius,
when you're at the barn
the hot dog stand.
I like this Gina is 100 years old bit. I think we should keep doing it. It's a good bit.
I just start aging in real time on the video.
Right.
I think when they're hanging out, they are sort of like one big globby monster that's made up of different parts, like Superfly becomes at the end. And then they have these shades when they're alone, which I think you see a lot in the animation, maybe not in the writing, but in the animation in their bedroom. It's like, oh, he's got, a karate movie poster. He's clearly into this. He's clearly into that. They found where they found that. And then the other times they were like, yeah, when teens are all together, they do all say the same stupid crap.
Yeah, they all look the same. They have the same haircut. They do really, they are still learning to be individuals. They won't get off my lawn. Yeah. They've never had a chance to be alone, really. They've always been this kind of cohesive family.
Yeah, which I liked, right? They doubled down a lot on I don't want your faces to be the last ones I see before I die. And then Raph has the full circle moment at the end where he's like, well, actually, I do want to see you guys before I die.
Beautiful.
But yeah, maybe we should give our scores.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about for this movie. Let's go around the table. Give me your score and one quick sentence why you're giving it that score for this movie. I'll start. Writing script, I'd give it a 4.5. Very little I would change about this. It really subverted my expectations at certain moments. It was great. I laughed a ton, had a great time. I like what the story had to do. And I loved that they took all of these mutants who are traditionally villains in the Ninja Turtle universe and made them all allies.
Yeah.
I'm going to see I can't wait to see where they go with that. Ray Fillet.
Didn't know that was Post Malone.
He's great.
Gina, what do you say?
You know what? I think this might make me a sucker, but I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh, what a sucker.
Wow.
What a sucker.
I laughed throughout afterwards. I just really enjoyed it. And that's all I really want out of a movie. I want to leave there and be like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Evan?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Whoa,
Tough.
harsh.
Yeah, I think I want to see a little bit more of Splinter's kind of turn throughout the film, and also I think more turtle time, a little bit more
turtle time. I like that.
But it's not. That's not to say I didn't like it at all.
No, you said your piece.
Oh boy,
you hated the movie. Jordan, what do you say?
Get him,
You're
Trent.
a toxic fan. You're a toxic troll.
I can't be on the show again. This is it.
Right. There's a lot of other YouTube channels you can be on. Yeah. I think I'm going for. Again, the jokes are terrific. A lot of very sweet moments. They call Splinter Dad. How fucking
It's adorable.
It's so cute.
Maybe dock at a point for just some kind of familiar story beats that you've seen in other things before. But yeah, for the most part, I thought the writing was terrific.
Yeah, I love the payoff of the milking joke too.
Yeah,
as soon as they were in the machine, I was like, they're getting milked.
Oh, it was so good.
And then the very Looney Tunes reveal of wait till the bottle's full, and then they show the bottle. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
What a Wile E. Coyote moment. Let's talk about the visuals of this film. We've had some great animated films this year. Puss in Boots was technically last December, but I would count it this year for the most part. Across the Spider-Verse really coming in. This has a very unique style, I think, especially in a world where it feels like the Pixar movies all start to look the same, right? This very visually stunning. The director, Jeff Rowe, was inspired by sketches he made in his notebooks during school as a teenager.
Cool.
I think that moment where they're going through their plan and it's feels like it was drawn with colored pencils or whatever.
That was sick.
Right.
That feels like how I drew
And a woman
Turtles
comes out of the crowd and says, "Sign my baby."
Yeah. Oh yeah, all those moments come back
And
and
then
they
it pays
happen
off.
again. He used these sketches that he has made as a North Star of a lot of exaggerated features, spikes, other random effect lines. I like how, the signs weren't always spelled out. It was just scribbles and stuff like that. Yeah. Very, very fun stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about this visual style? Did you like it? Did you find it too gross and gritty?
Oh.
Not clean enough?
I was going to bring up the fact that I thought the grossness was great. great.
Yeah.
It
All the
really-
humans kind of look grotesque in a weird way.
It
Yeah.
kind of like reminded me of those old Nickelodeon cartoons.
Yes, exactly.
It had
exactly.
a Nicktoons look to it.
Yeah. And I miss that. Like, there's some Nickelodeon documentary, something about Orange. If anyone's seen it, it's great.
Agent Orange?
Yeah, it's great. It's like the Orange Years or something.
Okay,
I watched it on a plane, but it was all about like old Nickelodeon, and I remember watching the documentary and being like, damn, I wish they would like do this again. I wish they would have this like, and this to me felt the most like a throwback of, like it wasn't as polished, it didn't all seem homogenous. Even the fact that like they have live action movie scenes in it, like
Ferris Bueller, and
like all the like, and they show
Kung
like
Fu
real
films.
YouTube things. Like even that, just like it doesn't let your brain sort of adjust to it. So every time you see a different, like some signs are perfectly written out and other signs are just scribbles. I like that. Like it almost felt like just a storyboard artist being like, here's the movie.
It makes it feel more unique, and it doesn't feel like just kind of generic computer animated nonsense.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of movies kind of feel that way after a while, or that like Disney style of big eyes and pretty faces.
I like that it wasn't smooth. I feel like so many animated movies now, everyone just looks so smooth and sleek. And
Cartoon got Botox.
Everyone had angles. Everyone had goo coming out of them. Love the goo.
Yeah, the interesting design of the mutants was great. When you take a moment, like Wingnut has these mechanical arms, and like Ray Fillet's little like mask that only covers his eye. Rocksteady, Bebop having his traditional glasses, which I loved.
Same.
But his like gross, like pierced nipples.
And they're so flabby.
That's a little judgy if you call them gross.
They're so sad. He's 15! Is
Bebop 15?
Well,
they mutated different ages. Splinter even says it.
Splinter says
he's old enough to get nipple
Splinter
piercing.
says he's an old rat, so that's why he's an old mutated thing. It makes sense, whatever.
Yeah.
Superfly is a little older. He had grown up more. The others were all little babies inside of test tubes.
Yeah.
Wait,
they also have to be 15.
Is Splinter allowed to bone that bug or not?
Well, we never saw the bug in a test tube. We don't know when Scumbug was made.
Okay, maybe Scumbug was in the sewer.
Because Scumbug,
Because he even says it's hard to meet mutants my own age.
Guys, I got a text. We're all canceled. Sorry.
Damn you, Splinter.
I'm gonna do my notes app apology.
I did love like the fighting sequence too. That kind of when he's going after the crime syndicate.
That rules. That scene. That's the best action scene.
It's great.
Yeah.
In a year.
The whole montage, right?
In a year that had a John Wick movie and a Mission Impossible movie. That's the coolest action sequence.
Yeah, it was really great.
The director, Jeff Rowe, said that was directly inspired by the Old Boy hammer fight corridor scene.
Oh, yeah.
He said it in tweets, he's like, he's been trying to put it into something ever since like Gravity Falls when he worked on that.
Also great. If you haven't watched Gravity Falls, what are you even doing with your life?
Doesn't Alex Hirsch have a little cameo in this?
Yeah.
The creator?
Oh, yeah.
He's the voice of someone, I forget who. I'm sorry. Alex Hirsch is the voice of Scumbug.
Oh, there you go.
He's doing the. I wish there was more fighting almost. Like, that was, like, fun to see.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I do want some ninja in my Ninja Turtles, right?
They didn't get to use any of their weapons after that big fight scene.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see them do it in the beginning when they're doing the grocery store run, which was very fun.
Yeah.
They're using their skills. They do it in the chop shop. There's some fighting, but they're not great, which was very fun. The corridor fight, awesome. Great. They do use their weapons a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, but in, like, the big fight. I guess they're just 4 teenagers against a big mutated monster. So what can they do?
They're still learning. They're still learning those weapons. I think.
I loved like the visual of that giant mutant super duper fly.
Yeah.
With like all the animals that make up his parts. Yeah. Great stuff. Like very cool. Just a very unique looking movie. That I thought was like a lot of fun.
And I love my favorite of the like kind of sketch line things was just the lighting, like the way the lights all had the little scribbles to show the like how the light was being like shot out. Yeah. And then when I was driving home, like, you know, the moon's like really close to Earth right now, and I was like, whoa, the moon is lighting up the fog.
Am I a mutant?
Yeah. But
maybe I shouldn't drive while I'm so stoned.
Everyone was high as hell driving home from the movie theater that was too big, and the people were everywhere.
Really bad.
I don't know. I think it was a very visually interesting. I've said to a lot of my friends, like, it's almost a shame this movie came out the same year as Across the Spider-Verse, because I think this movie will probably certainly get nominated for Best Animated Feature of the Year, but I don't know if it could beat like Across the Spider-Verse.
I do think this style is going to be more divisive than Into the Spider-Verse, because I have a friend who vehemently hates the style.
I've heard a lot
Into
of
the
that.
Spider-Verse. But Spider-Verse specifically. I have a friend who hates Spider-Verse, but I've heard more rumblings about people who don't like Turtles than my one friend who doesn't like Spider-Verse. You know,
Interesting. People need to broaden their horizons.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, anything that takes a big swing, right? That's like
I would rather see that than like the same style.
Okay, give me your scores on the visuals. We'll start at the other end of the table this time. Jordan, what do you think about?
I mean, if we're including not just like the style of it, but also the choreography of the fight scenes and the character design and all that stuff, can we give it a 6?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
throw the numbers
I'm doing it. My first time out. I'm breaking
I mean, you can make up for Evan's 3.5.
Oh no, I don't think
yeah, it's a perfect 5 for me. It's a real miracle of animation.
Beautiful. Evan, what do you have to say about it?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just sometimes a little, maybe. I mean, we talk about the mess, and sometimes a little hard for me to decipher what's going on. But maybe I was too high.
This guy, come on. Gina.
I'm also gonna give it 5. It's I just like anything that's different, and this was different in a way that like really nailed it.
Yeah. I'm also gonna lean 5 on this one, folks. I was pleasantly surprised when the first trailer came out. I was like, oh, this looks great. This looks like a lot of fun. And this really didn't disappoint. And that fight sequence was so much fun. That's really a highlight. And I can't wait to watch through that again and like pick out all the little things that are going on. When it's happening. Like so much fun. Justice for my boy Toupee Tom. Okay. Before we get into the rest of our review, let's talk about our good friends over at nerdriot.shop, where you can grab all sorts of different merch options related to the different types of IP that we cover here on the channel. We have a new line of Barbieheimer shirts that dropped recently. Check out those.
Look at it.
I believe the first one's called She's the Bomb.
I
we
get
got the pink explosion. We got career change there at the end. Don't let Barbieheimer die. Keep it going all year long. They won't take
Keep dressing up.
Keep dressing up.
Keep putting on pink and going to see the Meg. I don't know.
When you go see Napoleon this fall, make sure you're wearing your Barbieheimer shirt.
Stay at home, watch the Beanie Baby movie, but wear pink.
Oh boy.
We'll sidebar that. Check out all these awesome shirts over at nerdriot.shop. When are they gonna stop making these IP movies of like the Beanie Baby movie, the Flamin' Cheetos movie? What's going on?
I just can't wait to see what
The
Princess
movie.
Diana Beanie Baby.
We're gonna
is
get
doing.
the Grimace Shake movie at the end of this year.
I would watch it and I would love it.
Yeah.
What if Grimace had a birthday?
You're crazy! Get out of this boardroom! You're a rebel! He would never have a birthday.
And Batman reinvigorated Hollywood.
Right.
Let's move on and talk about the
What if Mayor McCheese had sex?
Oh man,
You're
is
fired.
Mayor McCheese male?
Yeah, he's a mayor.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa. Lean in, Gina.
Okay.
I think women can be mayors.
all right.
I think anyone can be a mayor. I think anyone could be a mayor.
No, she was saying that a mare is a female horse. I can't even defend you there.
Anyone can be a mayor.
We'll talk about the acting of this movie. First of all, I think it's a 0. They animated it. There was no acting.
Okay, gotta go.
Where was the acting? Just a bunch of drawings.
Hey, I can act in a drawn movie. Of course, our 4 turtles in this film were Micah Abbey, who played Donatello, Shimon Brown Jr., who was Michelangelo, Nicholas Cantu, who was Leonardo, and Brady Noon, who was Raphael. Jackie Chan was Splinter, Ice Cube was Superfly, and a ton of other famous names were also involved in this movie, all the way down. Alex Hirsch had a cameo. Creator Kevin Eastman has a cameo in this film. Great voice work. Let's jump into it. Jackie Chan steals the movie.
I would say like going into this, if you had said to me like, okay, Jackie Chan and like Ice Cube doing voice acting, I would be like, okay. I mean, that's not what they're known for. Like Jackie Chan movies are hilarious. A lot of that humor comes from his facial
Physical
expression,
comedy,
physicality, and he had an animated series where he did not even voice himself.
It's true.
Was that not him?
That's not him.
Oh
He gave like a live action intro at the beginning, just like like Howie Mandel on Bobby's World. But then he was like, no, cast someone else in it.
Wow.
So going into it, I was like, this is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
He's not a voice actor. Blah blah blah. He's not known for this. And he is so freaking good.
Yeah.
His comedic timing is insane. There's a line that he has that Brandon has heard me do now 90 times. Where he says something along the lines of like he's retelling his story to the turtles who've heard it before, just like any parent retells a story to their kids. And he's saying, I was an older rat, so I like when I mutated, I was older. That makes sense. Yeah, don't ask me anything more about it. And he's like just speeding through that delivery of it is so funny, and like mixed with the animation of like him actually being an old rat, with hair coming out of his ears. He's so funny.
The Ice Cube, afro he has. And
like Ice Cube really leans in. Like he was like, "Oh, you want to cast me in this? I am gonna go 190%."
He has a ton of fun. Yeah, I completely agree. Like I was totally surprised by their parts. I mean, the kids are awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Kids are terrific.
They were great.
Yeah,
they were
really
kids, and they seemed like they had so much fun and they got along so well. Paul Rudd as the gecko.
So
was
good.
just
Dude,
like,
I thought it was Andy Samberg for like half the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when I watch animated stuff, I am very like sensitive to the like, okay, they got this celebrity
using
for 4 hours.
using celebrities.
They put
Yeah.
him in a booth. They did one take, and this is the one you're hearing. I think this movie has a couple of instances of that kind of stuck out to me, but the main cast is so good. All the people you mentioned, and a lot of those little supporting performances are very funny too. And so it has a couple of moments of got a cash-in cameo. It has some of that, but I think for the most part, all the main characters are terrific.
So Io Debris as April O'Neil too. I think
great.
The hardest part of being like the straight man in this, right?
Yeah.
Like literally like the only real human we interact with for most of the movie. Has to do a lot of the serious lines, a lot of exposition, but like gets great comedy in there too. And then Maya Rudolph as Cynthia Utron is great. This weird accent she's doing.
Is that a new character? Does she have precedent in Turtles canon?
Yeah, like the Utrum, like they are. I mean, like spoiler alert, but they're basically a race of aliens, and that's what Krang is.
Krang is an Utron.
So he's an Utron alien, and so I think giving her this last name is sort of setting it up. Like, okay, where did she come from? It's also like a fun nod. Like if you knew that, it's like just a really fun thing. But yeah, I think she might turn out to be an alien.
Yeah, she has
she got a big brain in her belly.
She's got a very nondescript kind of accent, right?
Yeah.
It's not, you can't really nail down, is it Russian? Is it European? What is this? I think it's kind of implying she could be an alien.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the movie, they're like, TCRI just like kind of disappeared.
Right.
And in the comics and in the cartoons, TCRI, they make these kind of weird alien tech.
Yeah.
They are controlled by Krang.
He's their CEO.
They share stuff with Shredder. All that they give Shredder his technology. So it's like kind of implied that if she's not going to ultimately be revealed to be Krang, that she is related to this alien race somehow.
But I do love it. It seems like they cast Maya Rudolph, and she was like, "Okay, what's the deal with this character?" And they were like, "We don't know. Do something."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Okay."
Because I don't think you would immediately know it's Maya Rudolph, right?
Yeah,
she's
doing that
her
interesting.
voice.
Even that small part that Giancarlo Esposito has, like
as Baxter,
when they like when they're going to get him, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
He's so
very sweet.
He's so sweet. He just wants a bug family. He just wants a delightful mutant family. And I like really was just like, please. No, Giancarlo. He's just a sad man in a basement.
You mentioned it earlier, but I love like the moment where they sing the BTS.
They're
not necessarily getting the lyrics right, and they're like crying and they're sad. I love Jackie Chan's hatred of any time rat is used as like a derogatory term. Calling him Ratatouille. Oh, they're great. I mean, just like really good voice work. It's hard to knock it.
He emotes the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And he throws them a little birthday party, and he is so excited.
Oh, that scene is heartbreaking.
It's so hard,
sad.
but he's like so excited. He's like, I got all the Chris's, and it really does seem like a parent who's like so excited to, and then they're just like they blow him off, and
It's like when your mom's like, I got you one of those Nintendos you wanted, and it's a 3DO.
Oh no, Mom.
Atari Jaguar.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Tough stuff. Should we give our scores?
Yes.
Anyone have anything else to say about the voice acting?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay.
No.
I'll go first. I would give it a 5. I mean, and my reasoning being I was totally blown away by it and completely subverted my expectations. What do you say, Gina?
I mean, I was gonna go lower because I didn't want people to think I'm a shill.
I mean, I'm a shill for
Turtles.
this one, dude.
I'm
voice acting was
secretly Krang. This is my only goal.
Let's see the brain. Let's see the brain.
Yeah, I give it a 5.
We get 5,000 subs, and Gina's gonna show the brain.
You could give me just Jackie Chan, just Ice Cube, and those 4 kids, and like I want them. I don't want any other. I want all other voice actors blown off the earth.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh boy. Yeah, I feel like a 4.5 for me. I feel like I just agree with you, Jordan. Like those few instances, it's enough to make me think like maybe not a 5 totally. But yeah, I mean it's hard to deny like the chemistry between the 4 kids and as well as like Jackie Chan being like an emotional center for this movie is pretty surprising and it works. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give it a 4. Dock it a point for a couple little moments where it seems a little rushed, it seems a little phoned in. But where it counts, the acting is great.
Yeah. Great stuff. Okay, let's move on and talk about the directing of this film. As we mentioned, it was directed by Jeff Rowe, who worked on Gravity Falls.
Love
And then wait, I looked this up, forgot to put in the script. Did he direct Mitchells and the Machines?
Oh,
Or did he write it?
Co-director,
I think, yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also a very good movie.
Yeah,
Big
it's really
swing
good.
on animation.
Yeah.
Right.
Real
That's
good.
on Netflix if you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And it has kind of a similar animated style to this, I would say.
Also, lots of touching moments with a dad and some
Yeah.
a,
Good dad,
a
that's
kid
a good
that
dad movie.
like a kid who doesn't think he's that cool anymore.
But it's clear that, Jeff had a lot of love for this movie. Seth Rogen, who helped work the screenplay, was also a producer of this. Also has done a lot of the press, which they did before the strike.
Yeah.
They've just been airing it now. Clearly love this franchise a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I think stood out to me the most was the care they wanted to put into it. And try and have an earnest, grounded story here with kind of a wild cast of characters.
I think with this franchise a lot of the reboots have been kind of cynical and they've been kind of cash-ins. And I haven't seen them all, so I'm sure there are great ones. I'm sure there's diamonds in the rough. But it seems like, even when we were kids, they were just kind of these things that were crapped out to make toys.
Yeah, it was a
right?
merch vehicle for sure.
I've gone back and revisited some of that 80s Turtles media. It ain't great. Those movies aren't E.T. And so I think there is just a version of this you can do that is quick and cheap and doesn't really care about the characters and doesn't really care about the jokes and is just there to set up toys for Christmas. But this is not that. This is regardless of why you love these characters, you love them because, you met them when you were kids and they have a place in your heart. So I think the fact that they leaned into that, decided to give it an emotional story, to put so much TLC into it, pretty amazing considering this could have just been a cash grab.
I really enjoyed that they did not undercut the sweetness. They didn't do that very common comedy thing,
right?
Where they're like, oh, here's a tender moment between parents, and then someone shits their pants,
full record scratch.
Exactly. They let those moments, they let them have those moments, even sort of where the turtles end in the movie. You're just oh, I was rooting for them and they did it. Good. It's not they don't have them all of a sudden get hit by a truck and oh, my shell cracked. And they're oh, looks like you didn't see that one coming. They are just no, this is a sweet movie. It's got a lot of humor and we don't need to be mean. We don't need to be cynical assholes.
And the energy is very like youthful overall too, which like is perfect for like literally teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like when they're
You just got it.
Yeah.
What's
like
a
when,
turtle?
like when they're filming with the cell phone, like that kind of handheld feel, like that carries itself throughout the movie too.
Yeah.
I can't remember quite the quote, but there's a distinction that they made when approaching like certain moments using that handheld shake and certain moments like being very still. But I think that balance of it is very fun, and it's like such a great approach to this like world.
Yeah. Kids do love YouTube.
They
love YouTube.
Yeah.
They love leaving great comments. They love subscribing.
Yeah.
They love telling all their friends.
They love liking videos.
They love liking videos. They love watching the commercials.
They love hitting that bell.
Love to hit the bell. Kids love hitting the bell. Not sus to hit the bell. It's a whole vibe.
No cap.
Not
No
mid.
cap.
No
bro.
cap.
Not mid. Yurt. Yeah, I really, like I said, I liked how they fit so many mutants into the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun to see a lot of these characters that had been in like the old animated shows. Loved Bebop and Rocksteady so much.
Yeah.
Love those guys. And yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but the kind of making them all friends at the end.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where they go with that. Like, are Bebop and Rocksteady never going to be bad guys ever again in this?
I mean, I think they might be converted to an
fun.
evil way of thinking. But yeah, I want, you know, like this is like the weird like bosom buddies, golden girls of like all the mutants are living together.
Yeah,
they're having wacky hijinks. Someone drank my
Let the landlord find out.
But yeah, just seeing how much care was put into it, it was great. It didn't feel like a cash grab or anything. It was well thought out. And, like, they're really establishing a world here where I think they have a lot of room to make a sequel. It sounds like they're gonna make a sequel to it.
I know. I think they literally have been greenlit for a sequel the day, like 2 days ago.
Right.
Yeah, and a TV series.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
I'm scared of a TV series because I think, you know, you have to rush so much to get that done.
It's hard to maintain the same quality.
Right, but maybe a TV series is
another
explore...
look to it. Maybe it looks a little more anime. Maybe it looks a little more, you know, 80s throwback Saturday morning. But yeah, obviously it couldn't look like this. But hopefully it looks like something.
Did the pizza look delicious in this to you guys?
Ooh,
you know, the 80s cartoon, the pizza always looks
I enjoyed
some realistic looking pizza, I felt.
Yeah, I would eat it.
Yeah.
Before the movie, I had a slice of pizza to celebrate. I was like, all right, let me go to a Sbarro. I'll get the pizza.
They have at the AMC theories, they have a icy flavor for this movie. The Mutant Mayhem. It's like a green apple. It's very good. It's very sour.
Did they have a drink at the MacGuffins for this movie?
I didn't check at the MacGuffins bar. I'm always afraid to go to the MacGuffins bar.
Yeah. I've had some wild nights at MacGuffins. Once the cameras are off, I'll tell you about my last trip to MacGuffins.
Brandon's just like several kids under his shirt, so that's why he's afraid to go. He's like, give me whiskey sour.
One alcohol, please.
For an adult.
Right. 4, please. Gulp.
Let's give our scores for the directing here on this film. How did Jeff Rowe do to you guys? Evan, let's start with you. Let's start in the middle.
Oh, pressure's on,
Throw him
baby.
under the table, Evan.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I think 5s are pretty hard for me across the board. I also another part of my movie experience that I did not say is that I dropped my phone in between the seat, and I was trying to reach for it and get it back, and I was like, not the whole movie. I discovered mid-movie that it was gone.
Why do you need it? The movie's gone. Why do you need your phone for?
I didn't need the phone. I heard it slip, and I went, oh no.
Well, you can get it later. The movie theater's not
I had to get on the floor to get it.
Didn't Nicole Kidman tell you what to do?
Wait, what does this have to do with the direction?
Yeah.
Anyways, what I'm going to say is that it takes a lot.
You missed a third of the movie? Is that what you're about to say?
I was too distracted.
It took me 45 minutes to find
But it takes a lot for me to give out a 5, but I will say I really enjoyed the movie. 4.5. Yes.
Okay.
Gina?
I'm gonna give it a lower score than I have been. I'm gonna give it a 4, but just because I think in terms of everything was still great, but I noticed the directing the least. Like it was like the thing that it was still very impressive. But if you held my feet to the fire and said like, oh, what you can keep one of these things. I need those voice actors. I need that sweet animation style. So directing 4.
What do you say, Jordan?
I'm going 5. I loved all the choices. I really did. Just from choice to choice, I thought most of them were just terrific. So, 5 for me.
I'll go 4.5 on this one. Really good. You know, I think there's always room to grow. But they did a great job. And man, I just want the shot of them watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off as like a screensaver to watch all movies through.
Yeah.
It just felt so nice.
Yeah.
And just like sweet and like a nice summer evening, like just beautiful. That's why I need a filter to watch all my movies through.
Yeah.
Just great stuff.
Get on it, internet.
Do it, internet. And our final category.
Yell at the internet.
Don't
antagonize
Don't
them.
make me come in there.
You're doing great. We love you.
They don't know they're watching right now. Just be quiet. Let's talk about the sound, the music, the score. An incredible soundtrack and some great needle drops, and of course music by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which is also nuts.
Love their late in life career.
I know, what an awesome choice. They mostly do some like intense Fincher movies and stuff like that. Like
they've been branching out.
Getting pulled in for an animated Turtles film, which only makes me think that Trent Reznor's a huge turtle head. He's got to be.
They did Soul also.
Yeah. They've been branching out to animation lately.
I mean, the needle drops in this movie were just great.
Yeah, definitely like, you know, a lot of pandering to our generation.
Sure.
No Diggity in there, right?
No Diggity by Backstreet and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
The Ninja Rap, the original Ninja
Rap.
That I really appreciated.
Some Natasha Bedingfield Unwritten.
There's BTS in there, and that's his ringtone on the phone. So like they you know, they're like, hey, olds.
I don't
watch this with your 15-year-old niece. They'll also like it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know the song. When they pull up to meet Superfly and the cars are coming in.
What is that?
It's like, I gotta stay fly, right? Wasn't that the song that was playing?
Oh.
It sounded like a cool, hip, modern song that the kids are into.
Sick.
But it's just like great. I've been looking for like an LP of like the soundtrack. I found the score, but I haven't found the soundtrack yet. I hope they put it out.
Yeah.
But
you
just
check
like,
some old record stores.
well, I was literally looking for a record because I have a record player and records are back, folks. They sell more than CDs.
Vinyl's back.
You guys still use
Taylor
CDs,
Swift
right?
has records.
Yeah. Target sells records, folks.
I want to talk about needle drops.
Oh, okay.
Generally.
Let's do it. Yes.
So something that always drives me up a wall a little bit is when there's not a logic to the needle drops, right? It's just like, this song is cool, so we put the Flash is gonna run around, so we're gonna play this White Stripes song, you know,
sure.
or whatever song they played in that. Like Guardians is the greatest example of there's a logic to these needle drops. It's the songs on his mixtape. Has anybody seen the Twisted Metal show on Peacock yet?
Not yet, but I've heard
Twisted Metal show is pretty good, and it has a great logic for they have a lot of needle drops in it, but the logic to it is, in this world, the world ended in 2002, so these are all the songs that were popular. So like Thong Song is in it and stuff, and it's neat. Like I don't love the Thong Song, but I like why it's in there.
Why don't you love the thong song?
My father was killed by
Cisco?
some dumps.
Cisco killed your father?
I was going to try and make a joke about he was killed by dumps like a truck, but it didn't really make sense. Just imagine I nailed that. My father was run over by some truck dumps. Anyway.
He has thighs like, I don't know what.
What? Thank you. Thank you for helping me through this bit that didn't work. So I do think that, like, sometimes when it just feels like this is the director's favorite songs, I don't love that. At times this felt a little bit like that. I guess maybe you could say that, like, these are all the Turtles' favorite songs, and maybe a modern kid is more likely to take some old stuff and take some new stuff and make that their mixtape.
Yeah.
So I was like looking for that. I don't think I ever really found it, but I did like all the songs, but I sometimes wondered why they were there.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's a fair assessment.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I feel pretty similarly to that, though. I really did like the score of it. It felt like a lot of what's that song in Barbie? The Billie Eilish song in Barbie. There was like a lot of similarities, that whatever that kind of reverby, like that like musical spaces really is like instant emotional, like ooh, that's an emotional beat. And it works, and it every time on me, and I love it.
Yeah, there's a very sweet song that's playing in the flashback when they come into Times Square. He's holding the baby turtles, and they're looking at all the things, and then it like literally gets like a record scratch, like, what the fuck? There is like, that's a very sweet, soft moment in a movie that it doesn't need to be, but it is.
Exactly. And when they're longingly looking at the Ferris Bueller thing, like when Leo's like, hey guys, we gotta go. You know? And then they're walking through the sewer and they're looking. It's like, it's so, you feel for it.
Yeah. I mean, old Splinter, like looking through the box of stuff to like, I'm so lonely. And, like, you know, sweet little moments. Maybe some songs played for comedy.
Sure.
You know.
I wonder, I liked this, but I wondered why it was there. The meme version of What's Going On.
Right. Well, they were originally listening to the normal for non-blondes. What's Up is the name of the song. But everyone calls it What's Going On.
No,
and then when
roast me in the comments.
And then when they hit the, you know, they flip the car, it transitions into the dance, like
the kind of proto YouTube
it was
viral.
It was a 2006.
Right?
I think the title is
Oh
Hey whatever, and it's and I say hey and it's He-Man and there's Skeletor.
It's great.
That's a great transition. Maybe done for comedy, yes.
Yeah, I liked that. I was like, why are they doing this? Who cares? This is funny.
But it kind of fit as like a fun soundtrack to this fight sequence that's going on.
Yeah,
right?
It felt like a record that got bumped, and when it like gets back on track, it's like a similar version.
Maybe they're establishing that Mondo Gecko only has the song "What's Up" on this tape, different versions. Jumped ahead too.
Oh, that's a great bit. It really is.
Yeah. Did you guys all watch this at AMC theaters?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we saw it at a Regal, I believe.
Yeah, whatever that downtown thing is.
Yeah.
Only for royalty, right this way.
Yeah.
Did you guys have trouble hearing the dialogue in the beginning?
I did not, and that's a big like sound mixes in movies. Like I remember when I saw The Flash, I was like, "What is happening?"
Dude, the Spider-Verse too.
The Spider-Verse beginning.
I was like, how can you not hear Spider-Gwen in the beginning? I was like, this is her thing. Like,
but no, this was like the first movie I've seen in a while where I could hear everything.
Okay, interesting. So maybe my theater was too big.
Because you were under your chair trying to find it.
That's pretty much why. There were spots where I'm like, I can't really hear what they're saying.
Oh,
but maybe my ears are going. I don't know.
No, maybe it's different theaters. Maybe they don't know how to put the settings on their TV. They should have listened to Tom Cruise.
I mean, I love going to theaters, but I think
I listen to Tom Cruise in all of his I do whatever he says.
Like his songs?
But yeah,
I want to give you all a stress test.
All right, should we give scores?
Let's do it.
All
Let's talk about the sound. I'll go first. I give it a 4.5.
Nice.
Loved it. No notes.
I also am gonna give it a 4.5 because I could hear everything and because I did think every song was. There was enough of like my favorite songs and then new songs that I'm like, I know this.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna get roasted for this phone thing. I know it.
You should have never told that story.
You didn't even see the movie.
I'm never on my phone during the movie. I was distracted.
I want to hop on the X and drop some X's.
I was on threads. I was threading.
Evan's the person that all those news stories have been talking about lately. Of people being on their phones.
He wanted his kid to watch some YouTube videos.
I'll give it a 4. I think all the score is terrific. All the songs are really fun, docking in a point because I wish there was a little bit of logic to why the songs were there.
You've been spoiled by James Gunn.
Yeah, I know exactly in more ways than one.
So we're tallying up the final scores now, getting out the old abacus. Does anyone have any final thoughts they'd like to say about the film? Any moments you didn't get to discuss?
I mean, do we want to talk about that mid-credit scene?
Oh, I do enjoy the mid-credit sequence. Kind of showing that Shredder's up next.
Yeah, got a big cheer in my theater.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of felt it coming, right?
Yeah, I felt it coming, but still liked it. I still liked it.
And then kind of showing that Utrom on the run, TCRI has disappeared, but she still has her organization.
Yeah.
And that she already knows Shredder. It was like, let's call in the Shredder, right?
I love the Shredder.
Yeah, the Shredder.
Yeah, the Shredder. And I also loved that it was just like him sort of with like a storm. Like it reminded me of like an old video game, like an NES video game where you see that on the screen and it's like
lightning strikes.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you're thinking of the Ninja Gaiden intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great game.
The
Roll hard.
Shredder will return.
Right.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I think
love
it's the next logical villain, of course. I think it makes the most sense. Let's roll right into it.
Yeah.
Did anyone else? I was theorizing this around the trailer time. Snake, I believe, is the name of the head of the Strike Force who gets the eye patch.
Yeah, okay.
Could he become Casey Jones?
No way.
No,
Casey Jones is way hunkier.
Could he have a turn and become Casey Jones?
No.
Do we know how he feels about hockey? We
How
don't.
does he feel about
Yeah, it
hockey?
really is dependent on that.
Do you want a
Own a
Casey
cricket
Jones
bat.
to make an appearance?
You know what? I was like looking for a Casey Jones cameo,
Yeah.
like in the background. I was like, and you know, like I guess like in the past he's been around the same age as April, so I was
Right.
like, maybe it's a
High
kid in this high school.
Oh, sure.
That you can see. I'm still not like maybe once we get it on the old DVD VHS when we sit there and look at the Easter eggs, maybe we'll spot him in the background.
I like the Michelangelo doing the improv thing, and he says no but, but it's still a yes and
the
somehow.
number one rule of improv: don't say no but. I feel I was talking about this with a friend. I think when they're doing the planning of the battle to take down the kaiju super duper fly, someone does say yes and. I think, is it Michelangelo there?
Yeah,
he's like yes and we can do this. But it's like in the moment when he's got to be performing, he doesn't know.
No, but you know what? His scene partner was to blame because they start with a question. They say, "How can I help you?" or something like, or "Can I help you?"
She says, "Do you have any Nikes here?" He says, "No, but we have Crikey's."
Yeah.
He's selling his scene partner out
Right,
for a joke.
to tell a pre-planned joke.
Yes, a pre-planned joke. He's violating all the rules of improv. And I don't like it.
All right, everybody on your feet. We're going to do an improv tutorial. Okay.
Get the table out of
here.
Any other thoughts before I reveal the final score?
Ooh.
I liked it.
Yeah, good movie.
No? The final score is on our unofficial post-it note, a 90.
Ooh!
Nice.
Wow!
I think the same
that's a
score
good
as
score.
Barbie?
Maybe? I don't
Wow.
know. Evan was supposed to do the homework and
Yeah.
come up with a list of all the scores, but he did not.
Did not do it.
Listen, if you go see this movie, get dressed up like you've been getting dressed up for Barbie. Be a turtle,
Yeah, be a
dressed in
turtle.
green.
I saw a lot of turtle shirts in my screening, a lot of green.
I saw a lot of turtle shirts at my screening too.
They might have been Skrulls.
Might have been Skrulls.
Skrulls love to wear
remember,
green.
Remember Skrulls?
No?
Still talking about that? Well, dudes and dudettes, it's time to hang 10 and have a totally tubular weekend. Keep it gnarly and cowabunga. That's it for today. Make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch and subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube where you can catch cut downs and replays of all of our streams as well as other exclusive content. We'll catch you later, Turtles. Until next time, cowabunga!
Cowabunga, everybody.
Pizza
Cowabunga.
party.
Cowabunga.
Yurt.
Bacon, egg, and cheese!